Yeah, I know, they're flexing. Relax them. Now, as soon as you relax them, you probably notice that you melted or sunk deeper into that tissue. That's what we want. So keep it nice and even with your pressure. And if you can handle a little more, let's shear back and forth. So we're pinning the tissue, but we're not moving. We're not moving on top of the roller. Not this. We're pinning the skin and we're flipping the flesh. So you might notice when I take my legs out, you don't see flesh here, you see it over here. When I bring my legs in, the flesh stays, it flips to the outside. So I'm keeping my pressure even, flipping my flesh. Now I can get sexy if I want. I can do some figure eights. I'm gonna bring my pressure in, turn my legs out, drag the flesh back, turn my legs in, drag it in. I really like the figure eight. So we call this directly shearing. So we're shearing directly on an area. Now let's go a little deeper. You may need to cross a leg over. I'm going to creep that roller back down. You might be so tender that you can just lay your legs on the back side of that roller and move your feet. If that's like, I don't know if I'm doing that right, cross one leg over and relax that lower leg. But I'm going to have you make little circles or little U's. So just take your toes and go all the way out, drop it all the way down. Bring it back into the inside. Just move full range of motion. And then compress and wait, take a belly breath. And cross over to the other side. So again, we work general to specific. We work superficial to deep. This is the most deep we can work by pinning the fascial tissue. Knee is soft, right? You see me at an angle, don't be with a straight leg. And move the muscle tissue in between. So you're causing a deeper layer of translation and shearing of the structures that are deeper, closer to the bone. Causing hydration. Compress and wait. Now bring the legs back down. I'm about middle of the calf. I'm gonna glide out and then scoot back in. Glide out and then scoot back in. Try to keep that pressure consistent and even. And I'm exploring, turning those legs each time, trying to find a different area. And you most certainly can do one leg at a time if you want. I don't need to because it would hurt if I did. This is slightly uncomfortable but not painful. So do you notice I'm exploring? I'm turning to the opposite side. Now I'm going right into my shear. So we're gonna keep real time now. So again, I can shear by back and forth. I can figure eight. These are just ways of direct shearing. Relax your feet, let them flop around. Don't dorsiflex, don't pull your toes up. If it's super tender, I can log roll, slowly and evenly. High knees, working on the back side of the roller. And if I don't feel anything, I can work one leg at a time and do that same sequence with one leg stacked on the other. Yep, that's not working for me. And then my deepest layer of shearing is moving that foot. So I'm pinning the tissue, nothing's moving up here, just that foot is moving. So you can feel that shear, that translation of deeper structures. So we just hydrated from superficial to deep. Cross over, do my indirect shear over here. Right. If you've got plantar, actually the calves have so many amazing jobs. They actually even act as a pump to help keep fluids moving through the body. You know, we're a pressure system. That's a whole nother video. All right, compress and wait, take a belly breath. Now let's move into the back of the thigh, so our hamstrings. Now you're gonna do this laying down. If you need to watch me, you can sit up for right now. But when you do this, again, I'm gonna do it with my hands first. All we're doing is flipping the flesh, okay? So if you take your hands and encapsulate your muscles, firm but gentle, just like we did on our arm, you're not squeezing. So if you're bending knuckles, you're squeezing too hard, just shear, twist that muscle tissue, all those fascial layers around the bone. That's what you're gonna do, but use this as a nice little barrier to work off of, okay? You can do both legs at the same time, or you can do one leg at a time. If you have, I'm gonna pull this back down to make this tight. If you have knee pain challenges, if you have anything, back of the thighs is important. Hamstrings are important. Because why? Because of this. Because we sit all the time. We lengthen these attachments. Most of my runners and athletes hurt here. Well, that's an overstretched, weak tissue. Dehydrated fascia, not tight muscles that I need to stretch more. And what do? We stretch them. We need to get hydration back in this tissue. And guess what else is back there? Cellulite. So compression, fascial tissue under direct compression, frogs ya. Sustained compression for a long amount of time dehydrates it, and then guess what comes out between it? Adipose, fat. And that's what you see, cellulite. That's why we don't really have it anywhere else. We don't compress anything else. Pretty cool, huh? Now, definitely behind the knees. We're not in the crease, we're just above it where these tendons are. And we want to get hydration big time in here. So you'll notice when I take my legs in, all my flesh flips to the outside. And like I said, the best way is to lay down. I would bend one knee and get as much twist as you can. Now, notice behind the knee or just above the knee, I can't go very far because there's not that much skin and it's really thick and tight and dehydrated. So shear to the left, shear to the right, shear to the left. So flip the flesh. I'm thinking about that femur bone being a rolling pin on the inside. Shear back and forth. And you're noticing that that roller is slowly creeping up the back of my leg. So if I'm going that last 10%, I'm gonna get a little more range of motion each time. Now I'm noticing, probably from running, tight with IT band challenges, this is like thump, 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 back and forth. So you can stay out here and shear back and forth. Just go to your end point and then back to general. Working all the way up. Now you can take both legs, start over, and you can start behind the knee and do snow angels if you like. Just don't go fast. Make sure that your intention is to go to the end point before you turn the legs and go back out. Go to the end point, come back out. So flipping that flesh in and out. Now, some of you are going to be wanting to straighten your legs out. Some of you are going to be arching your ribs. If that happens, just take your hands and put it onto your hips. Relax your legs. Relax the knees. If you still can't get it, go back to the 1 foot bent and 1 leg at a time. That might be the easiest for you. But work all the way up. So shear to the inside, shear to the outside. Inside, outside. To finish that off, you can take both ends of this soft roller. You can pull it up just like a swing under your honey. So right where your legs meet your booty, if you've had pain up here, you know where I'm talking about, your ischial tuberosity, your attachment of your hamstrings. And you're gonna hold on to that roller. And you can do your same little snow angels. 1 leg at a time is always easier for me. And you'll notice when you come out to this outside, this lateral side here, it's probably gonna be thick. So if you wanna stay on this outside, shear back and forth. But here's the deal, your brain may want to sit and do this for 10, 15 minutes, and I'm taking longer because we're instructing right now, but get in and get out. You could do your whole lower body in 10 or 15 minutes. 3 to 5 shears in one area, move on. 3 to 5 shears in another area, move on. That's it, all right? All right, now we're gonna take this roller, you're gonna turn to your side, and we're gonna do inner thigh. So if you're familiar with Jane Fonda back in the day, straight body, ankles, knee, hip, shoulder, straight line. You may not be able to tell that in this video. Take the roller and line it up with you. Now, take the top of the roller and put it out away from you. So you see I'm making a V. This gets really complicated in class. You'll have people flipping it the other way. So the bottom of the roller is like touching your thighs almost, and the top of the roller is away from your body. So if I extend my top arm out, I'd have to extend to touch it, okay? So I'm making a V with my body. All right, now I'm gonna take my top leg and raise it up in the air and bend it at 90 degrees. And I'm gonna drop it down, drop my toes down, and bring the roller towards me so that I'm staying on my side. So I don't want to bring my body to the roller because that makes me move out. That's actually how we're gonna roll. So stay on your side, bring the roller to you to where when you drop your knee down, the roller's hitting right on the crease of the knee. Relax what you're working on. It's gonna start sounding familiar, repetitious right here. Relax the top leg, so don't have it lifted, relax it down. And now the easy part is roll your body towards the ground. You'll notice the roller moves up, and then roll your body back. The roller comes back down. And then we're gliding. So I'm gonna put my toe on the ground because my next roll is gonna be in a different spot. Chris will like that. Glide out and then gently scoot back in. Ooh, baby. Turn again because we're gliding, we're preparing the tissue and exploring for tender areas, and this whole thing is tender. Interesting area. If I only had one area to roll during the day, it'd be a hard choice between my inner thighs and my glutes. Some people would say inner thigh and calves. I don't typically have calf issues. Oh my gosh. So this is an amazing area of the body, has a lot of neurology and lymph nodes and vascularity running through it. So now we're shearing. Foot is relaxed. I'm still at my 90 degree and I'm twisting the flesh. So here we go again. Remember the calves. We can shear back and forth where when I bring my leg up, the flesh is all to the back side. When I bring my leg back, the flesh is to the front. So the roller is not moving now, just the fascial tissue, just my tissue. Think about using the my femur bone, my leg bone in here as a rolling pin for the inside. Now I can make little circles if I want to. I'm pinning the tissue and I'm moving my leg around, but the roller's not moving, just my skin. And then that was 3 to 5 of those, and now I'm going to go to that deeper layer. I'm going to bend the knee at 90, and I'm going to attempt to raise my foot up just slowly. Doesn't have to be far. And if it's painful, maybe this isn't the necessary move right now. Maybe I just straighten the leg. Yeah, that's not a whole heck of a lot better. Maybe if it's painful, I tried a different spot, and that's not better. So on those days, you can just stick to your basic shear. And these circular shears, if that's all I can do today, that's okay. We don't want to cause pain. Slight discomfort, I'm all right with that, but not pain. Compress and wait, take a belly breath. And you can move on. Do the upper, so the same thing, 3 spots. I'm lower leg, middle leg, and I can do the top. Right, we're gonna flip. Let's do the inside of the other leg. So start again, body is long. My head, shoulders, hips, knee, ankle, the same. Remember the roller is straight, but then I'm gonna tilt the top away from me. So the roller is gonna hit my thigh, top of my thigh, the top is away from me. Raise my leg up at 90 degrees. Drop it down, bringing the roller to me so that my crease of my knee hits the roller. But I'm on my side, so my starting position looks like this. My foot is resting on the ground, relaxing what I'm working on. Roll out, and then scoop back in. So a little pressure back in, just like we did with our calves. Turn a little. Glide out and scoot back in. Turn a little, glide out and scoot back in. Now I could work half of my quad, the front of my leg, from this position. Easily I could transition and to come into hands and knees and working my quads. Now for the sake of this video, we're not gonna do quads. It's not, I'm focused more on the back line and the adductors. Now we're going into a shear. But just know that that would be a nice transition, a nice smooth transition to do the front of the legs, which is a very important part of the body as well. But most of us, if to get started, 1,000,000% your back line is so important. All right, 3 to 5 of those. I'm gonna bend the knee and I'm gonna do my deeper layer of shearing, that indirect shear where I'm moving a body part so nothing else is moving but my leg. And in body work, we actually will call this cross friction, or oh my gosh, I can't even think because this is a little uncomfortable. I'm gonna go to a different area, see if I can straighten. Yeah, woof. I'm just gonna tell you this. If you are doing your inner thigh and you don't feel anything, we gotta check it all. Something's not working. You're holding your leg, I don't know what you're doing. I've not met anyone that this is not a little bit uncomfortable. Usually it's a lot of bit uncomfortable. All right, and we're gonna press and wait, take a breath. And again, you can move up the inner thigh. All right, go ahead and push yourself back up, and let's end with your butte. All right, again, so if you think about the pelvis, you got flesh of your cheek on this side, flesh of your cheek on this side, and then right over this sacrum is a flat surface. And there's not really a lot of muscle tissue right here. And interestingly, that's where we have our L4 or our L5, where a lot of those nerve roots that go down your sciatic nerve, that causes a lot of distal challenges. So getting a shear effect and hydrating between these bones, your SI joint, is super important. And I hope that you can envision what we're getting ready to do on that flat surface, again, by on your arm. We're gonna try to get this action happening, okay? So here's the way that's gonna look. Remember, we want a nice, firm, strong core. I'm gonna put my hands out to the right, put my hand out to the left, and try to find some balance. So I'm not heavy in my hands and my shoulders and my ears, just enough support to where I can be on, again, the foot side of the roller, right? We're not working on top of the roller. So maybe you even start from the ground and you come up. So that roller is right here across that flat surface, the sacral. Hands are out, and I'm gonna just shear. I can drop my hips down and shear. I'm trying to get that skin on the back side to move. Now, if you really want, this is Valentine's, February right now that I'm recording this. So if you really want to make an impression on your partner, the best way to roll is skin to skin, skin to roller, because your skin will stick. I mean, I'm just saying, you could do some naked fascial shearing. Yeah, I'll just stop there. All right, so get that tissue moving. So those SI joints, make your core strong, relax your neck. Getting that shearing back and forth, getting hydration back there allows those nerve roots and that stenosis that they say that you have. We can change that. Yeah, we can. Now from this position, why don't we bend this back leg, drop down to this front elbow, and we're gonna roll the upper quadrant of our hips. So again, here's your visual. Here's the top of your pelvis. Here's your natural waist. So roll down and back up to that pelvis. Let the bony landmark be your barrier. So up and down, I'm gliding. Gliding means I'm exploring and I'm warming up the tissue. I'm using this back leg as what's moving me. So I'm turning my whole body and getting that back side of my booty, the upper part, the upper quadrant of my right hip, and I'm rolling this way, exploring this whole big, I call it chunky butt, but the whole top of your pelvis, of your beautiful hips. Now I'm gonna shear. So again, back leg's doing the work. Relaxing what I'm working on. Relax this leg as best I can so I can back and forth shear. Now, I know this might be like the inner thigh. This might be very, very tender, right? And that's okay, but if it's too tender, why don't we try log rolling? Just a little bit of a log roll in, a little bit of log roll out. If it's just like, hey, Laura, I can't do that, just stick to your glides and then we'll move to the other side, okay? Now, if you can tolerate this right now, then we're gonna do that deeper layer. And guess what we have here? A big ball and socket joint that I hear all the time that I'm bone on bone, I need a hip replacement. I'm not saying that medically by your imaging that isn't true. I am just going back to the fact, keep on doing that for a second, that structure into that structure is covered by a surface that is a fascial layer. And if I can shear that labrum off of that joint, ball and socket, that surface area, that articular cartilage in there, and get those tissues shearing off of each other, I am causing hydration. Hydration allows space and gives the environment to where all these other structures can do their job. So please, please, please give it a shot. If you have to have a surgery, you're gonna have to recover afterwards. So why don't we try pre-surgery, pre-recovery? All right, now we're gonna sit ourselves up and do the lower part of our hip. So same deal, starting over. It doesn't get any more complicated than this. Up and down and turn a little. I'm using this back leg, up and down and turn a little, exploring. The things that people get caught doing, they get distracted, they're watching TV or something, and they just foam roll. Same spot over and over and over and over and over. To me, that's a waste of time, it's unnecessary, and it begets to be too much. So just like anything else with the human body, too much, not enough, both are really bad, regardless of what we're talking about. I mean, pick anything. Too much of it, bad. Not enough of it, bad. We got to find it in the middle. So don't just, if you find yourself just glide, 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 shear, 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 more than 3 to 5 times, move on. Too much. All right, and that deeper layer is, there we go with that ball and socket. All the way in, all the way out. That last 10% of the action is 90% of the fix. Good. All right, then you just switch to the other hip. I'm going to turn myself so you can see. All right, let's just go from bottom to go to the other bottom. So you'll see that I'm kind of like sitting up on the roller. So I'm gliding the lower fibers of the glutes up and down and turn a little. Again, my back leg is bent, up and down and turn a little, relaxing what I'm working on. I always think it's fun to kind of compare sides. You know, you'd like to think you're even, but most of us are not even in any way. Now we shear back and forth. Ooh, now that's interesting. Clunk, clunk. If you get the clunk, clunk, let's not clunk, clunk. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Let's log roll, nice and slow. Nice even compression. Like you can kind of envision pinning that tissue and just squeezing toothpaste. Good. Now you might be surprised if you go back and shear and do some circle shears or Maybe mix up your indirect shear, pin that spot and move into deeper surfaces. Maybe we'll work from the inside out right now. The right technique, the right intention, magic happens. So bet if I go back to it, I'm not clunking anymore. Nope, no more clunking. I love this stuff, and I hope you're loving it too. All right, drop down, upper quadrant of the hip, and then we're gonna be done. So up and down and glide, explore the surfaces. So you see I'm just rolling my body up, so I'm getting the backside all the way to the sacrum, all the way to the SI joint. So working all the way up to the pelvis, turn, hit the sides. Yep, I did some good warming up and exploring, not too bad over here. And then I can start my shears. So for me, I'm not too tender, so I'm gonna directly shear back and forth. I can make my circles. I'm trying to stay on the foot side or the back side of the roller. I'm not gonna be on top of it, directly down, okay? Fight the urge to do that. Let your weight be on the side. If it's too tender, I can log roll, again, using this back leg. And then my deeper layers, after 3 to 5 of these, I can either move to another spot and do it again, or I go right into my deeper layers of moving the bone. So I love envisioning taking that surface up in that ball and socket joint and shearing that labrum, creating hydration all the way in. That last 10% all the way out. You can bend the knee and do it again. That pulls tissue in a different direction. It's a big ball and socket, right? And then relax, compress and wait. And then push yourself up. How do you feel? I wish you could answer and I could hear you right now, but I already know. I can feel the energy through the phone. I know you feel better. Get up and walk around and notice what you feel there. Now, again, if you have lazy butt syndrome,